Well, hello there, Tylord here with the games I beat in 2024. Happy 2025, everyone. It's time for me to share the games I beat in 2024. This is my new record, I think, since I started doing these videos. I actually beat 31 games, 31 new games that I'd never beaten before. 31 games all in the year 2024. So it was a pretty good year. A lot of good downtime to play video games. Really, I just stuck my nose to the grindstone a lot. But I got through a lot of games this year. I'll give you a rundown of the type of games I beat. This is how I categorize them um, by console and yeah, I'll just categorize them by console that I played them on, and I'll categorize them by genre. So out of the 31 games I beat 4 games on NES, 2 games on SNES, 2 games on Genesis, 2 games on Game Boy, 1 game on 3DS, 1 game on Switch, 5 games on N64, 3 games on PlayStation 1, 1 game on PlayStation 2, 1 game on PlayStation 4, 2 games on the original Xbox, 1 game on Xbox 360, 3 games on Series X, and 3 games on my new Evercade, which are old arcade games, but I didn't know how else to categorize them. And as far as genres go, I beat 8 beat 'em ups, which is usual for me. I usually play more beat 'em ups than anything else. I categorize first-person shooters with third-person shooters, and I got 9 of those. I think 6 of them were first-person and 3 were third-person. 2 games I categorize as horror games, although you could probably say they are third-person shooters as well. 3 fighting games, which isn't very much for me. 4 point-and-click games, which I've been enjoying this year. And wow, 4 RPGs. Some of them are pretty long. So those are the type of games I beat. No platformers or shooters, sorry. But we'll get down to the games I beat this year. I started off the year with NES. And the first game I beat in January 6th was Shadowgate. Really fun point-and-click game. I've always been into this genre. Like I said, ever since I played Snatcher several years ago, I really got into this genre. I really like point-and-click games. I'm not sure how many of them there are on NES. I know this company that published these did also another game I'm going to talk about, and then The Uninvited. I got to find The Uninvited because I'm really enjoying these point-and-click games, but Shadowgate is sort of like a mystery adventure fantasy game, point and click. You're trying to go through a castle dungeon, collecting all of the items, solving puzzles. Some of them are very difficult. Yeah, even the first puzzle to get into the castle is kind of confusing. I think maybe I didn't really need to resort to the internet until the very end because it really got confusing, but really fun game. I would go back and play this again. Kind of a chill, relaxed game once you know what you're doing. Graphics are pretty good, pretty simple. Kind of feels like you're playing an old PC game, which it is a port of an old-timey PC game. So that one first, that was January 6th. Second game, January 11th. Same type of game. I was just referring to it right now. This one I really liked. Deja Vu. Same exact engine, like same interface and everything. So it's really, I could really get down and enjoy this one and not have to learn too much about it after playing Shadowgate. This is a sort of a noir mystery murder set back like in the 30s. I guess like the 30s or the 20s. I can't. Yeah, it's got to be the 30s or 40s. Can't remember what the cars look like. It's been almost a year since I played this, but yeah, this is a fun noir adventure. I think I like this even more than Shadowgate. And you don't have to worry about. You can save pretty much any time in these. The interface is a bunch of folders, which is kind of very user friendly. Really fun. I don't think you can die in this. Well, you can die, but you can continue like from the last screen you were in. So this one, I think it didn't take me quite as long as Shadowgate, although I think there's a little bit more to this one. I think you actually get in fights with people. Just remember, this guy, your protagonist was once a boxer, so I'll give you, that's a hint how you should take out the enemies. Usually if you try to shoot them, you're just going to get killed. Fun game. I would recommend this one. I'm glad I played that one a lot. Next one I beat, this was a bucket list game of mine. I forgot to mention I beat quite a few bucket list games this year that I've had for a while. I've always wanted to beat. Here's one I beat on Gameboy, and that was January 21st, Double Dragon on Gameboy. I'd beaten it on Master System and Sega Genesis before, so I'm going to count this because it's a totally different game. Double Dragon, I love this game. Sort of similar to the NES game, but I think I like this even more. It's really nice looking black and white game. Really controls well. Really difficult. A couple of really challenging spots. Once you get to the end, that last dungeon, the little bricks on the wall that pop out at you, there's no pattern to them. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I just have to get lucky to get through this, but I got through it maybe once or twice. Really highly enjoyable. I found a cheese exploit on the last boss. If you really want to see someone who knows how to play this, check out Mazinpower. Just did a no death run of it. It took me all my life to beat this game. Mazinpower, just beat it the other day. No death run on it. Yeah, like I said, I had this when I was a kid. I would play it in the car. I would take it up to my grandparents' house in Idaho when it was rainy. I would play it on my Game Boy. A really fun game. I really love the music. Everything about this game I love, and it's great that I could scratch it off my list and say I can actually beat it this year. Okay, next game, we got into some N64s. January 25th, I beat this game, War Gods, which is a blatant ripoff of Mortal Kombat. If you like Mortal Kombat and you're good at playing it, you know the controls of Mortal Kombat is exactly like that. Probably doesn't have quite the production value. I don't think it was that bad, though, like everyone says. It's fun. If you like Mortal Kombat, it has fatalities. It's pretty much just a ripoff, like round one fight, fatality, finish him. It's just like a total ripoff. My buddy Omega Ace Gaming says this was like a prototype for a 3D Mortal Kombat, and that's what it feels like. The characters are so silly. I don't think they're anywhere near as memorable or cool looking as Mortal Kombat characters, but they're all based on like mythology and gods and stuff. But I don't know, I had a good time with this. I liked a lot of the music in this, so I thought it was okay. And then staying on the N64 fighting games the next day, and this was a tough one. This was really tough. My boy Omega Ace Gaming beat this on a stream, no problem, but man, it took me a while. And I had to use some exploits. Mace, the Dark Ages, is that what it's called? Mace fighting game, sort of similar to Soul Calibur weapons fighting game. Medieval looking characters, all with swords and weapons and maces and stuff like that. Limited continue, so it's a pain. I found an exploit where if I plug in the second controller and continue before my 6 continues are up, I could start doing another 6 continues on that one, and then if that one almost runs out, I can plug the other controller back in. Because the last boss, it took me like 100 tries to beat him. I found a couple of good combos on him. It just took forever to beat that last boss. But man, I think overall it's a fun game, kind of underrated. You don't hear people praise it too much, but Mace is good. And then, okay, next one I don't have a physical copy of. I got it off of the PlayStation Network. I bought it off of the store. It's an arcade game, an old arcade game I beat called Vendetta. It's a beat 'em up, so I love beat 'em ups. I don't know how many quarters it took me. I thought I was getting pretty good at saving my money. I think I was getting pretty good patterns now, but still, I think I probably I could have bought a hamburger with all the quarters I used. Yeah, Vendetta is really cool. It has like a Hulk Hogan look-alike and some cool heroes to play as. Typical beat 'em up. I enjoyed it. I kind of want to go back and play it again with a friend. But Vendetta. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. So, I'm a big Bond fan, so I was on a Bond kick this year. I wanted to go back and beat all the Bond games I had never beaten. Being a big fan of Bond, I should be able to beat every Bond game. So I went back and did that. A lot of them off my bucket list that I always wanted to beat. But it all started with this game in February 7th. This is a game I always liked it, but I sucked at it. But I just said, okay, I'm gonna just get down on this and get good at it. So I finally got down on it and I beat it. Really fun game though. If you beat it on Agent or 00 Agent, you get the Katie Lang song "Surrender" will play at the end with like a little video. But if not, I think you just get like a congratulations screen. It's really hard on 00 Agent. Third-person shooter, kind of old one where not twin stick or anything, so it takes a while to get used to. But I think once I got used to like the L and R sidestep, I thought it worked really good. I thought it played really well. One level you play as Wei Lin, and most of the time you're Bond. Some really cool levels from the movie. I thought one level you play as Wei Lin, and I thought that level was pretty cool. It wasn't something totally out of the movie. Another thing you can do on this, you can actually save Terry Hatcher from Dr. Kaufman. You can save Paris Carver in the game from dying. She doesn't die. You can save her from Dr. Kaufman. Dr. Kaufman's a boss fight. You fight Elliot Carver at the end. Well, once you know the patterns and you sidestep, you can just pretty much spam like your powerful weapons on the bosses. There's some driving in this. It's pretty cool game, pretty ambitious game for the time. May not be one of the best Bond games, but I really enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite PlayStation games now. So then I had to go on to the next one, and this one's done by the same developers. Are they called? Same developers did this one. The World Is Not Enough. This is a first-person shooter. Last one was a third-person shooter. This one's first-person. I was hoping it had twin stick, dual stick option, but it doesn't. It's a newer, or was it a newer game? Or no, I think I don't know why I was assuming it had the twin stick controls, but it didn't. So I just played it with the one stick, and it worked out okay. I just played it like I played Tomorrow Never Dies, but it's first person. Might be a little bit smoother. It goes through scenes of the movie, just like the other game. Feels a lot like the other game, only it's first person. I thought the last level on this was pretty fun. When you're in the submarine, it has videos from the movie, and music. So the music and sound and video quality is really good. And I beat that one on February 10th. I'm testing out my new equipment. I'm coming at you with my webcam on using OBS. My buddy Wubbs, shout out to my co-host Wubbs, gave me this nice computer. I'm testing out all of the options. I've never played with OBS or anything. Now I have the world is my oyster now. So then after that, we got a really good one next. So going from The World Is Not Enough on PlayStation 1, we went right to another game I've always wanted to beat. The World Is Not Enough on N64. This is a Eurocom game. Way better. Way better. I like the PlayStation 1 for different reasons, but this is just this is leagues better. This feels like a PlayStation 2 game. The levels are so big. There's no load times. It's so smooth. It has multiplayer. A bunch of maps. Man, the levels are so big, and there's so much variety of the levels. Follows the movie. It doesn't have as good of sound, of course, and the textures and everything, but other than that, like big, huge levels. Probably holds up with stuff at the time I like Half-Life 1 and stuff, but I think it's better than GoldenEye in a lot of ways. So finally beat this one. Really, really enjoyed it. But this is a contender for Game of the Year. If you want to know what my true Game of the Year is, go watch the Button Mappers video game awards show. And then I have a video on there telling what my favorite game is. Okay, so then Now we're really getting serious. Really a big bucket list game for James Bond fans. I never beat it. Finally beat it. GoldenEye 007. Wow. Finally got through those last couple levels on this. I actually played it on the original software. The control scheme I use on both those games I really like. It feels really smooth. Wow, this is probably better in a lot of ways than The World Is Not Enough, but that one had better graphics and probably a newer, more advanced game. But this one, so good for the time. It's just so. I can't believe how good this is for like an early FPS. Um, some really fun levels. My favorite was probably the train and that really tough level of control. The last showdown with 006 on the satellite's really epic. Man, this game is so good. I can't believe it took this long to beat it. I sort of just told myself I beat it because I beat that remake, but this is nothing the same. This is way better. Yeah, and that was February 13th. I'm going through all these Bond games fast. Okay, and then the next one. This is one I've always wanted. The only like PlayStation game I never beat, and I went back and beat it. Nightfire. It's the only one of that generation I never beat because of that stupid submarine level. Such a pain, such a drag, no checkpoints. I finally beat this game. I didn't beat it on hard, or I had to set it back to easy to beat that submarine level, which is close to the end. And then after that, it wouldn't let me set it back. I have to beat everything in normal, so I didn't beat the submarine level in normal. So then the rest of the game was really easy because I think I had it on the lowest setting because of that stupid submarine level. I hate it. I think that level ruins this game for me. Other than that, it's a badass game. I just cannot stand that submarine level. It's like a stealth underwater level that drags on for so long. There's no checkpoints. It drives me nuts. But really good game. I would say that everything else about this is top notch. Like the character models and the acting and the variety of levels, really good. That's one I always wanted to beat. And that was February 18th. The next game I got out of the Bond games, but this is sort of similar to a Bond game. I beat this one I've been wanting to. On March 9th, I beat The Great Escape on the original Xbox. Wow. Woo. Really, really good. I used to love stuff like Splinter Cell, those stealthy games, and Escape from Butcher Bay. This is really good. I don't think it's on the level of Splinter Cell, but it's pretty darn close. A lot of sneaking around in the prison camp, trying to break out. A lot of it's based on the movie, but kind of like that Bond game, you can change the outcome of the movie. You can actually jump over the fence and get away with Steve McQueen. There's a likeness of Steve McQueen in here. They use some of the audio from the movie, which is pretty bad. And then the other characters don't really have the likeness, but they sort of look like him. Like you can play as James Gardner, and you escort around Donald Pleasance. Those are some really cool levels. The train level in this is really, really fun. Like sort of like a stealth. Kind of reminds me something of an Alfred Hitchcock movie. It wasn't really in the movie, but it's a cool train level where you're trying to escape with Donald Pleasance. James Garner and Donald Pleasance are trying to escape on the train. What else? There's so many good stealthy levels. You can actually with Attenborough, you can get away when you're running through the city. So many cool levels like rooftop jumping, a lot of sneaking up on Nazis and bopping them on the head. Really cool game. A little bit of shooting too. Some of the levels turn into FPS shooters or third-person shooters. I guess it's a third-person stealth game. A lot of weird objectives. Kind of follows the movie a little bit in certain areas, but I really, really recommend that one. The Great Escape, and that was, what did I say, March 9th? So then on to March 12th. This is one I've been wanting to beat for a while, and I never did. Finally got to it. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I played through it like 4 times, so I must have liked it, but it's really tough. I found this game very, very difficult. I see people online say, "Oh, it's easy. You can just dodge everything." I couldn't get the dodge down. It seemed like every time I would dodge, I would just dive into their arms. I just dove into your arms tonight. Um, you play as Jill. It's a remake of the first one. There's stuff missing, but I don't mind because it's such a pain in the A. I didn't want to play any more of this. Some of the there's these zombies that don't die. They just keep regenerating, and they take so much ammo. There's these variations of zombies. The bosses take so much ammo. I played through this so much I got unlimited machine gun, and then it was still hard with unlimited machine gun. F this game, Bubba. No, I had fun with it. I beat it 3 times. Not that far. I went up to June 12th. This is a game I picked up at the SoCal Gamers Convention. I've been wanting this for years. Fatal Fury, baby, Fatal Fury 2 on Game Boy. I've been wanting this for years, ever since I heard about it. I saw it in a magazine when I was a kid, and I can't wait to get this because I love the arcade game. I didn't have a Neo Geo. We played at Pizza Hut all the time. I saw this was coming out. It's like the cutesy, like chibi, is that what it's called? Like the cutesy, big-headed characters. But I never got it. I didn't realize up until the last few years that Game Boys are region free, so you can play the Japanese games. This is Japanese. It's a fighting game, so it's easy to. Got too much glare. There we go. Yeah, I really like this. It doesn't have the 2 planes like the arcade, but who cares? It's just a simple fighter, really smooth. It has all the moves from the games. It has little text bubbles when they throw their moves. You don't hear it, but they have text bubbles. It's really cute. I'm going to count this as a new game, even though I've beaten Fatal Fury 2 on many other consoles, but it's sort of different, like it's only on 1 plane, so I'm going to count that as a new game beat this year. And I like it. And that was in June. Okay, and then the next one, another bucket list game. This is one of my wife's favorite games. She's always been more of a fan of this series than I am, but now I finally beat this, and I think it's really good. It deserves all the praise it gets. Fable. I beat it on the original Xbox. I beat the Lost Chapters version, so it's a little bit longer than the regular version. Really fun, really easy game. Like I don't think you can die in this. I think even if you do die, you just come back with scars right where you are. But I don't think I even died. I did a lot of level grinding. I got my guy super powerful. You get all kinds of health potions and food. Do you have any food or potions? Um, yeah, really, really fun RPG. Not like anything like Skyrim or Oblivion like that to open up, but really fun. Kind of more something like Ocarina of Time, but more of an RPG. Hack and slash. Really fun. Unlocking new moves and all that. So yeah, Fable. Recommend this one a lot. I'm sure most people have played that one, but that's the first time I ever beat it. And that was a bucket list game. Um, Next one. Oh, this was another bucket list game. I've been wanting to play this for years. Overblood. I finally beat this one. This is good. This might be half the game Resident Evil, and this is half of the game Resident Evil is. It's that good. Um, I thought it was a cheap ripoff when I used to play a guy. I just like it because it's funny. Like the voice acting's funny and it gives me a kick. But man, this is a fun game. Um, Made it all the way to the end. There's actually some combat in this. I thought it was all just like a puzzle, find an item, unlock new areas, but there's actually combat in it. I would recommend save all of your ammo for the last boss. I even say like Resident Evil kind of rips this game off in some areas, like later Resident Evils. A lot of this game's really deja vu, like I've seen it before in other Resident Evil games. But I know one part you're like on this jet ski that flies, and you're trying to escape a cave with a girl on your back. Like the girl's behind you on the ski, and you're trying to avoid the obstacles in the cave. It reminded me of the end of Resident Evil 4, and this was way before that. Yeah, and the last boss, the scenario seems very deja vu, like I've done it before, but Yeah, save all your ammo for the last boss. If you want to know more about this game, I recommend watching the review by Biophoenix. He does an extensive review on this and the sequel. The sequel looks really interesting too. Really ambitious looking game, but man, if you like Resident Evil, this is a third person, what do you call it, a survival horror. You can change the camera angle to first person. You can change it to over the shoulder. You can do fixed camera angle. It's really good. A really good game. Really, actually, the stories are kind of good. Like, it's kind of intriguing. There's a little plot twist at the end. Way better than I had imagined. So I like that game. And that was what was that in June? Oh no, that was July 9th. Fable was July 3rd. That was July 9th. And July 20th, I don't have a physical copy. I beat it on my Xbox 360. I beat Dungeons and Dragons, the arcade game. Beat it on my 360. Not that impressive because it's unlimited continues, but it's a pretty fun game. I recommend that. If it's still on the store, I think you can still get it on the new Xboxes. Dungeons and Dragons would be a fun game to multiplayer. I might see if some of my friends want a multiplayer. It's really cool. Really Capcom game. Really cool looking sprites, cool backgrounds, cool graphics. Sort of like something like Knights of the Round or King's Dragon. Is that what it's called? King's Dragon? Really cool. Okay, then speaking of medieval beat 'em ups, shout out to Retro T-Barone and his repro buddy at the flea market. I forget the repro guy's name, but he has all kinds of great repro stuff. T-Barone got me this game, Legend, on the Super Nintendo. I think this is a custom cover with all the muscular hunks there. That's why he sent it to me. Beat 'em up game, really good. I've heard very little about this, nothing very good, but man, I really enjoyed this. I got a little pattern down where I could pretty much not get hit, and then the bosses were a little tough, but I could get through them because I had so many lives. But I beat this maybe like the third or fourth try. Really fun. If you like Golden Axe, this is like the Super Nintendo version of Golden Axe. Really cool game. I highly recommend this one. This is a repro. I don't know if it might be expensive, a real copy, but if you can find a way to play this, Legend, really fun beat 'em up. What else we got here? And that was July 30th. Now we'll move on to a couple Genesis games. Shout out once again to Retro T-Barone, his repro guy. He got me this Scooby-Doo Mysteries. Point and click, baby. This is so good. I played the Nintendo one, the Super Nintendo one before, and I didn't really like it at all. This one is a really cool game. It's a point and click game, a fixed camera angle, so they're realistic, not realistic, but cartoony. It doesn't look like a video game. It looks like a cartoon. The character sprites, you play as Shaggy and Scooby. You play as Shaggy, but Scooby follows you around. You can do some puzzles with Scooby. You're always searching drawers and everything, and looking for the next puzzle piece, sort of like any other point and click game, but really cartoony backgrounds. The character sprites actually scale down and up as they get closer or farther away from the camera. So I thought that was really impressive. So when the character is far away, he's a small sprite. When he gets closer to the camera, he's big. He's highly animated, really fun. It has all the Scooby-Doo characters in it, the funny little banter. There's 2 mysteries in here to solve. I enjoyed both of them. I didn't really need the internet much. A couple of them were tough. I could not find a couple of puzzle pieces. I think one time I had to search for one. It was like a stamp. I'll give you a hint. But other than that, after you just keep trying to do every single thing with every single item, you can find your way. One of them's set in an amusement park. One of them's at a lodge up in the mountains. Cool game. Yeah, highly recommend this one if you can get a hold of it. I got a repro, so I think these aren't too much, but I think the game might be a little pricey. Really good one, though. It'd be nice if that came out on a compilation. And then shout out once again to my boy Retro T-Barone. He sent me this game, and I beat it on August. Let me see. August 26th. Another game Retro Tiburon sent me. This is an actual copy. Zero Tolerance. Not to be confused with the PM Entertainment Robert Patrick movie, which is a badass 90s action revenge movie. Zero Tolerance with Robert Patrick. Go watch it. Not to be confused with that, but this is just as awesome. Zero Tolerance. I think he got the complete. This is one of his favorite games on Genesis, so I think he got a complete copy. So he sent me the loose one. This game is fantastic. I just got the Pico Interactive cartridge for Evercade just because of this game. But I beat this on the Genesis. Really fun, really ahead of its time FPS. This is a 3D FPS. Really advanced stuff going on here. I heard it doesn't even have special chips in here or anything. Kind of simple 3D, but man, there's like a skybox in it, so there's like you can see a background. There's actually certain places you can go down ramps and stairs, so it's really advanced. Even at one point you're on a rooftop and there's a sniper on another building shooting at you. What makes this game so fun, it's like an alien invasion game. I think the first level you're up in a space station taking out the aliens, then you come down to Earth, and then you go like to subterranean. But what's fun about this is in order to get a password to save the game, you need to clear out the area. So this game is zero tolerance. You can't have any enemies left. So once you clear out a level, then go down to the next level, and then you can save. And then you can't save again until you clear out everything on that next level. It gets really addicting. Towards the end, I got stuck because one of the levels didn't have any ammo, and I was overwhelmed with enemies. So what I ended up doing was going down to the level below that, collecting all the ammo, taking all those guys, then coming back up and killing all those guys, and then it was smooth sailing from then on out. But yeah, and try to save all your guys for the end. If you lose a guy, just go back. Really fun first-person shooter. There's a sidestep and everything, so you can. It's pretty smooth shooter. It's on a small box on the screen. I don't know if that would bother you. Like it doesn't take up the whole screen, but I got this nice big CRT that my buddy Dean from Escapes of Gaming moved to Idaho, gave it to me. So I have this big nice CRT, so it was fine on that. Zero Tolerance, man. Give that a try. Ooh-wee. Shout out to Billy. Ooh-wee. Okay, next one. Oh man, there's so many games that are potential games of the year this year, 2024. Next one, I beat on September 9th. A game on my bucket list. My wife got me this for my birthday, I think. Winback. Wow. I can't believe, where has this game been my whole life? I just saw Biophoenix this year beat it on the PlayStation 2. But I played on N64, and man, I really love this game. It was kind of long, but man, really fun. It's really satisfying once you get the shooting down. It's a cover-based shooter, so it reminds me a lot of like Gears of War or Resident Evil 5, or even like the James Bond games, like the Everything or Nothing, or maybe even Siphon Filter. But it's cover-based. There's a little bit of stealth. Kind of has like a Metal Gear Solid vibe, but there's no voice acting. More fast-paced, just like straight-up shooter. A lot of levels are pretty tough. You got to be kind of precise with the shooting on some levels. Your pistol's unlimited, but you can get a shotgun and a machine gun with limited ammo, so you got to save that for when you need it. The bosses are really tough. I had a tough time with some of these bosses. The last one wasn't too bad, but some of these bosses were tough. Finally beat it. Once you beat it, you can go back and play any stage over it from any point. It's really cool. Kind of reminds me of a mixture of Resident Evil 4. You have the laser sight, so it reminds me like a mixture of Resident Evil 4 and maybe Metal Gear Solid. Winback. I think that's what Koei did it, or published it at least. Really cool game. And then next game I beat was that must have been in October when I was down south with Retro Tiburon, and Mrs. Tiburon had me over. We went to the son of the Monster Con. It was a horror movie convention down there. But while we were there, we played Night Slashers on Xbox, the Series X. So it's a remake of Night Slashers. So I'm going to count that because it's a remake. But we play. Tiburon and I beat it the first time we played it because he found this exploit where, on most beat 'em ups. So first of all, the game's awesome. It plays just like Final Fight. If you ever played it before, it's an old Data East arcade game. It's a beat 'em up based on like horror. So you fight zombies and monsters and Frankenstein's monster and Dracula, but you play as like vampire killers. One of them, the Van Helsing guy, has a DDT. I think that's why we like the game so much. But then there's a big wrestler guy, and there's a girl that looks kind of like Chun-Li. Um, really cool game though. But the exploit Tiburon found was if you, most beat 'em ups, if you press punch and kick at the same time, you have a special move that takes everyone out, but it drains your health. Excuse me. So there's a game like that drains your health. But once your health is gone, you can still keep doing it, but your health is gone. So we would just spam that. We would just have one guy stand back, the other guy would spam that move, and then until he died, then the other guy would do it in case we got hit. But if you're safe and you can keep spamming that move, I don't know if it's a broken. If it's a bug in the game, it makes it broken, but you can just keep spamming the special move when your health is gone. Once you get hit, you're dead, but you can spam it if you don't have health, and it doesn't. You can't die from using it. You keep using it, so we spam that. But a pretty cool game other than that. And then, okay, here we go. Getting down to the nitty gritty here. I was hoping I would have beaten this year, and I did. I played it all the way back on the train from Bakersfield to my house, and I still couldn't beat it. I played this game for 134 hours, and that is Dragon Quest VII. Beat that on October 23rd. Wow. Shout out to Spencer from RPG Archive and Majority. From Majority, who did a video on this. They recommended it. I enjoyed it a lot. I knew I was in over my head with this, but I got through it. This is like the game I'm most proud of beating probably my whole life. Such a grind, such a struggle in a lot of areas, but like in some ways one of the best games I've ever played. I'd say it has more content, more material than most of the Final Fantasies I've played. Kind of cute graphics, really fun, a bunch of little stories everywhere you go. Potential game of the year right here. Put many hours into this. My downtime. I was glad to finish that though, but it was a fun game. Okay, and then another one. I can't believe I beat this one. This was a recommendation from shout out to King of the North, Great White North, and also my buddy Corey. Illusion of Gaia. This was like an Enix game for Super Nintendo. I'm so glad I beat this game. I don't beat a lot of Super Nintendo games that aren't fighting or beat 'em up. Like I could count on one hand all the games on Super Nintendo I beat that are not fighting or beat 'em up. And now here's one of them. So good. I was in the RPG mood, so I thought I'd play this. It's an action hack and slash sort of RPG. I'd say it's a Zelda type game disguised as an RPG. It feels like an RPG. It looks like one. It has like story and all that, but not really any level system. You just sort of acquire new. You find items to level up. So clear out, just like Zero Tolerance, clear out every area so you can get all your power-ups. Really fun. I was really surprised how good this game is. I don't think it gets all the respect it deserves. It has story, it has graphics. Really fun game. I can't say enough good things about this one. Maybe potentially game of the year. Back to the point and clicks. Here we go. Maniac Mansion for NES. Really fun game. I've always wanted to play this because I love stuff like Hugo's House of Horrors on a PC back in the day, or on DOS or whatever it was, and of course Snatcher and all those other. Is it Kimco that does the other games? Anyway, but man, this is fun. Maniac Mansions, different characters with different abilities, different scenarios with different characters, many different ways to beat this game. I think it's like the most, how do you say, dynamic of all the ones I played, point and clicks. Like there's a lot of timed events and stuff's like going on in real time. I don't really think you can die. I think you can F up your game where you can't win though. But there's many different ways to win, and a lot of them are kind of confusing. But yeah, I think there's three floors and a basement to explore. Kind of got to know this mansion, it's starting to be cozy, and I like it like the mansion from Resident Evil. Very fun. And when did I beat that one? I beat that one November 24th. Illusion of Gaia I beat November 16th. Okay, next one I beat March 5th was another one on my bucket list, Dragon Warrior. Wow, what a grind, but man, very satisfying to beat this game. A lot of grinding. Oh my, a lot of grinding. Man, I can see how kids would have really liked this back in the day. It's very time consuming. I don't know if I would have had the patience for this back then. I like to level grind a lot to be overpowered when I go into a dungeon. This one I think I had a little too much grinding. There aren't really too many dungeons in this. It's pretty much a simple map. There might be a couple of caves, but man, once you're at the end, it's very satisfying. I'll just say that. So Dragon Warrior, the Axe Knight. Remember? Oh man. The Axe Knight, he's supposed to be the guy that you can level grind with, but I had a hard time level grinding on him until I got up to like past level 20. Like, it's tough to level grind in this. Yeah, if you have a lot of time, I would just play it on my downtime or when I'm watching videos or listening to music or trying to go to sleep. I would be playing that. Okay, so then on to the next one, which was December 17th, Double Dragon Neon. So I brought this game on my Switch. I beat it on the Switch. I brought it to the SAC Gamers Expo to play with Tiburon and Omega Ace Gaming, and we got pretty far. And I think Tiburon got through all the tough parts. But man, it was tough. Like I think this is another game where you have to like level grind to buy power ups. But once I got home, I just kept playing certain levels over and over, and then I got strong enough. And then by the time I played the last level, it was easy as heck. So I enjoyed that. A really cool game, though. Love the style of this game. It's like an 80s throwback. It has a lot of 80s sounding music. It has covers of all the music from the old Double Dragons. It has all kinds of crazy bosses. It has like the boss is like a Skeletor ripoff. He's really funny. There's all kinds of sexy ladies with all their clothes falling off. Really cool game. What else? Okay, from here on out, more Double Dragons. So my wife got me this Evercade for Christmas. Cool little thing. I got the Taito edition, or no, the Technos edition. So it has a bunch of Double Dragon games. So I went back and I played Super Double Dragon. It was actually Double Dragon Returns, but I played through that one. And I had never played through the arcade of Double Dragon, the original one, so I played through that. So that was on Christmas Day I did that. I don't know if that counts because I beat the Genesis game before and it's almost the same game, but I'm going to count it because it's been so long since I played that. I don't remember if it's the same. And then Double Dragon 2 Arcade, I played through that, and that was really surprisingly good. I really enjoyed. I kind of want to go back and like try to get better, like use less continues on Double Dragon 2. And then Double Dragon 3, And all I hear is crap about that. I really enjoyed Double Dragon 3. I mean, if you think about it, it looks kind of crappy compared to like other stuff at the time. It was probably into the 90s. Like, it looks way worse than Final Fight. But man, I really enjoyed Double Dragon 3 a lot. It's really sci-fi. It's called the Rosetta Stone. Really a sci-fi type game. It really goes bonkers on that one. You actually fight a mummy and Cleopatra at the end. I couldn't figure out how to beat the bosses until I found out there's a dive attack. Like, you can run and dive into. Um, yeah, Double Dragon. 1, 2, and 3 arcades I beat on Christmas Day. Going back to Double Dragon 1 was pretty cool. I remember I used to play it at Chuck E. Cheese, but I couldn't really get past the broken bridge. Pretty cool though. Fun game. I think it didn't age as bad as I expected. Okay, last game. Actually, a new game for a change. A brand new game. The last game of the year I beat, number 31. I beat it on, I think, oh, I beat that one Christmas night too when I got home, I guess. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for Xbox Series X. I played it on Game Pass. What a good deal Game Pass is. All these games my kids and my wife like. Finally, a game on there I played. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I liked it enough where I'm going to get a physical copy of it when it comes down in price. Really cool. I wasn't really expecting much out of it. I'm really never hyped about any new game. I'm an Indiana Jones fan, but I just think they're going to ruin everything they make. This is very accurate to Indiana Jones. The guy sounds exactly like Harrison Ford. The actor looks just like him. The first, I'm not going to give too much of it away, but the first tutorial level is a recreation of the first scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, where you kind of learn how to use the whip and play the game. So it's like a recreation with all the same actors and everything. Graphics are so amazing. It feels like it's Bethesda did it. I forget the name of the company that developed it, but Bethesda published it. It feels like almost like a Fallout or a Skyrim. Some of it's really open up. Like, there's 3 big areas. It almost feels like an open world game. But you know what? It feels like more than anything else, a game I really like from the past on the original Xbox. It feels a lot like Escape from Butcher Bay. Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. A lot of fist fighting, first person. You can even join little fight clubs. I think that you could do that in Escape from Butcher Bay. Kind of story driven. I'm just saying, it feels a lot like Butcher Bay. And I looked up the director, and he actually, I think, worked on Butcher Bay. And then it kind of took me back to the other game I was playing this year, sneaking up and hitting Nazis on the head. The Great Escape is way more advanced than that game. The graphics are amazing. You spend some time in Vatican City, and excuse me, you spend some time in like Giza, like with the pyramids. You spend some time in Thailand, in Siam. So, and those are all 3 huge maps. You could get lost. You could probably just spend a bunch of time doing side quests on all those areas and never finish the game. I kind of got doing that, but man, I want to beat this game before the end of the year, so I progressed to the next level. There's some one-off little short levels. There's one in Shanghai that's really cool. There's one in the Himalayas, and a couple more. Yeah, one of them has been Baghdad at the end. And there's real actors in this too, other than Harrison Ford's not really him, but Tony Todd is in it. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. I think this is his last role. He plays a giant. Kind of gives me Jaws vibes, like from Spy Who Loved Me. But he's like a Nephilim. It's a cool story. He has like a lot of biblical references and some like mythology references. What do you see at the end? It's something I always wanted in an Indiana Jones movie. Happens at the end. Yeah, really cool game. Yeah, a lot better than I expected. So, man, potential game of the year. Yes, I really enjoyed it. And the cool thing about it, my new nice computer that Wubs gave me, I can play it on here through Game Pass, like cloud. Wow, pretty neat. You don't even need an Xbox to play a lot of these games. Yeah, so that's about it. Indiana Jones #1. or number 31 that I beat this year. Some of the other ones I didn't mention because I thought they wouldn't count. I'm kind of proud of it though. My friend Corey sent me a 3DO, and a while back he sent me Street Fighter just as a collector's item. So I beat Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on 3DO, and I 1 credit. I even got Akuma with 1 credit. I tried it again, but I couldn't. I must have got his pattern down the first time I played, and then I forgot what it was because I can get through everyone else pretty easily. But Akuma, I beat it all with 1 credit, and it doesn't count because I've beaten this game before. But man, this is so much. I love this game so much more. It's a lot easier than the arcade version. It's about like on the same level as like the Genesis and Super Nintendo. Oh, so very cool. I think it's my favorite version now, like just because of the music. It has like remix, like covered music, and the graphics are amazing. It has all the frames from the arcade, all the animation frames. I just can't imagine having this. I guess if you're a rich kid back then, you could afford this, and it would be the best. But I just can't imagine like a game this good coming out back then. Back when we were playing the, not that the Genesis and Super Nintendo were bad, but man, this is like so amazing. As if I just put myself back in the day. So I didn't count that one as a game I beat. Another one, Resident Evil. I've beaten this many times with Jill, and I beat it with Chris on newer versions. But I went back and played the original long box version, and I beat it with Chris, which is very tough because you only get like 2 saves per ink ribbon. I think it's like a lot harder than some of the newer releases. I might be wrong, but I didn't count it because I'd beaten it before, but I thought it was a lot different experience trying to beat it with Chris on the original version, which I did. I beat it a few times. I kind of got addicted to this game. One of my favorite games of all time. I'm not going to count that though. The one I couldn't beat though was the director's cut, the Chris version of the arranged. Once you get back to the mansion, there's just hunters everywhere, and I don't have enough ammo. I might try to go back to it, but I can't beat the arranged. Another one. Shout out to the Retro T-Brone again. Sent me a copy of Final Fight Guy. It's his retro buddy, or his repro buddy. Sorry, made me a copy of this. This is all in Spanish. It's this whole game. But I've already beaten the Super Nintendo version, the regular Cody version, but I never beat the Guy version. So I beat that. I'm not going to count it, though. I just thought it was fun. It feels like it was a little bit more generous, like there was more extra life drops and more like invincibility drops than the other one. I might be wrong, though. But yeah, this was a fun one. It was very challenging. That's about it. Anything else? Nope. Yeah, so if you want to know what my game of the year is out of all those, I know you can tell I liked a lot of those, but if you want to know what my favorite one is, go check out the Button Mappers 2024 Game Awards, and I'm on there. I'll tell you what my favorite is, and also a couple other guys are on there. Terry 309, Biophoenix. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so what games did you beat this year? And leave a link if you've already made a video like this. I love watching them just for references. I just watched Biophoenix, had a good one. Legend of Leo had a really good one. I know all my friends. I can't name them all, but I've watched quite a few of these. Try to get mine in before we get too deep into 2025. Thanks again to Wubs for all this new equipment. I know it doesn't look that impressive now. I'm using the webcam with low light. But shout out to Wubs for the nice Santa Wubs for the nice new computer setup. I have OBS and everything now. I have good editing software. Wow. Yeah, I can go on Discord now on the computer. And shout out once again to my boy Toro Loco, Fancy X, and now for the sign. Doesn't show up too good on this webcam, but I really love that thing. So everyone have a wonderful 2025. Be safe, be content. Wonderful gaming this year, everyone. See you next time.